He's just a secretary, she said with a laugh that sparkled off the chandeliered ceiling, but landed in my chest like a blade. It was the kind of laugh that wasn't meant to entertain. It was crafted to humiliate. Around 50 guests stood beneath that gold-drenched ballroom glow, turning to glance at me. Some smirked. Most looked away in pity. They sipped champagne like shame was something they'd never catch, like it couldn't stain their custom suits or $10,000 watches. Claire, my ex-wife, stood confidently beside her new fiancé, Gavin Lorne, heir to a billion-dollar tech dynasty. The kind of man who didn't need to know the price of a yacht because someone else already bought it for him. He looked at me with raised brows and a smug tilt to his smile. "So, what do you actually do?" Gavin asked, like he was genuinely curious, but everyone in the room knew it was a setup. I gave a polite smile. "Small, controlled, measured, asset recovery," I said calmly. The silence that followed was immediate. Audible gasps. Claire's champagne glass slipped from her fingers and shattered against a marble like the life we used to share. 3 years ago, I would have lunged to catch that glass. Hell, I probably paid for it. I paid for everything. Her designer dreams, her spa retreats, her silences, her betrayal. Back then, I was working 60-hour weeks at a boutique law firm, handling cases most people never even knew existed. Not a cop, not a prosecutor, but something just as dangerous. My title? Executive Secretary. A perfect cover. Just enough to seem harmless, overlooked, a legal fiction. The truth was buried beneath red tape and non-disclosure agreements. At night, I came home to Claire, the woman who used to tell me she believed in my ambition, our future. The same woman who curled against me while I massaged her feet after long yoga retreats. She used to say we didn't need wealth, we had love. Then I found the first crack in the story. A receipt for a silk tie from Milan. Not mine. A cologne I didn't wear, bergamot and betrayal. And then silence. Her phone started resting face down. Her body grew colder. The spark between us flickered into artificial embers. No confrontation. Just mounting evidence. A slow, calculated descent. I watched her change her passcode. I watched her pull away in bed. I watched her lie with the grace of a ballerina I once adored. When she left, she didn't cry. She didn't even falter. She packed her things with the precision of someone boarding a private jet to a better life. "You're too safe," she'd said. "Too small." I just nodded. That was the last time I looked at her as a husband. The next time I looked at her, she was a case file. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I got quiet and I went to work. Gavin Lorne may have had the money, but he didn't have the discipline. He was careless. His fortune was tangled in shell companies hidden behind nonprofit fronts and offshore real estate bought under fake names. One particularly shady deal tied to hush money, wired discreetly to a former partner in Switzerland. Claire's name appeared in the paperwork. She thought she had landed in a fairy tale. She didn't realize she'd walked into a trap, one designed by the man who had once built his entire world around her. I compiled everything. Dozens of pages, financial deception, secret accounts, betrayal dressed in diamonds. And I waited. Her engagement party was perfect. Gavin held Claire like she was his prized possession. She wore white again, like redemption could be sewn into satin. The ballroom was filled with people who probably Googled themselves before arriving. She saw me across the room and couldn't help herself. Her lips curled. She raised her voice, just enough to carry. "Oh," she said sweetly, "you made it. Everyone, this is my ex. He's just a secretary." There was laughter. Of course there was. Claire had always known how to hold a room in the palm of her hand. She didn't realize I'd come to break the glass it was made of. Gavin, amused, turned toward me again. "So what is it you actually do?" I looked him in the eye, calm, composed. "Asset recovery." The weight in the air changed. Claire's face paled. Her lips parted, but no sound followed. I slipped a black envelope from the inside of my coat and handed it to Gavin. "Congratulations on your engagement," I said. "Inside, you'll find a full report detailing your fiancé's financial activity. 2 shell companies in the Caymans and a joint account she opened under your name. I'd suggest having your legal team review it before next quarter's merger." The room stopped breathing. Gavin's hand tensed. Claire reached for the envelope, desperate, but Gavin stepped away, just slightly. It was enough. The music died. No one dared to speak. I turned to walk out, slow, deliberate. Then I stopped at the edge of the room, just before the double doors, and turned my head. I was never just a secretary. I said, voice calm and final, I was the one man in your life who knew how to keep secrets. Until now. Then I left. I don't celebrate it. Not really. Justice doesn't always come in thunderclaps. Sometimes it's a whisper behind closed doors. A single line of ink on a forgotten document. A smile held back at just the right moment. Claire called once. Weeks later, I saw her name flash across the screen. Familiar, ghostly. I let it ring. I owed her nothing more. Last I heard, Gavin canceled the wedding and ordered a full audit of his company. Claire moved back in with her parents. She still teaches yoga. Now she just has more free time to meditate on everything she lost. As for me, I work out of a private office high above the city. Still in asset recovery. Still quiet. Still dangerous. Some secrets are worth protecting. Others are designed to burn.